If you hadn't already guessed, I didn't stay in Seattle. In fact, we didn't even leave the airport in Seattle. We stayed there for hours. Jeff found some sort of loophole, not a loophole, but like there's a security pass at the Seattle airport that'll let you through security as like a guest, a visitor pass. I don't know if the purpose is so that you can walk your kid to the gate or just do what we did, which is hang out and have a couple of beers. But it was really nice. But now the battle with jet lag begins. One of the things I found helps the most is going to the gym.
Going up. Lord.
I don't remember what floor the gym is on in my dad's building.
Going down.
I mean, going for a run or doing yoga helps too. We're just getting up, getting moving. I don't know why I'm doing this now. This wasn't always one of my travel hacks. I mean, it's not a hack, it's just a forced routine. I'd rather be upstairs right now drinking coffee. I do have some work I need to get to, but it's something that's gonna get the blood moving, help me to kick the jet lag faster. You know the gains, bruh. It's just good for you. But I wasn't always this disciplined at working out. It's something that I've really had to work on, and it's something that's gotten, I think, significantly better in the last year, to be honest. For those of you that aren't familiar with my story, the quick of it is that I've been on a bit of a fitness journey for the last 10 years, especially since I turned 30. It was when the first time I really made a commitment to losing weight. And I played sports in school when I was a kid, but I really lost it when I went to college. I just kind of let myself go. And it was all because of insecurities. It was all because of a poor body image, poor self-worth, not loving myself. And that hasn't been solved expressly by working out, but working out has been a huge part of the solution to loving myself. Anyways, I lost a bunch of weight when I turned 30. I kept it off until COVID. I gained some weight. I had to lose it again. And I went kind of from fat to skinny repeatedly, which is good. I'm grateful that I lost that weight. And I did start getting into the gym after COVID, which is helpful. I got stronger, but I didn't really see the results that I wanted. I mean, the initial goal of losing weight, I succeeded pretty wildly at, to be honest. But the longer that I got in the gym and the more weights that I lifted, I actually, humble brag here, I maxed out some of the machines, but like, I didn't feel like I looked that much different. Good to be strong, but if we're being honest, I kind of want to look strong too. But even as I managed to lose the weight, and even as I got stronger, it didn't really solve the core issue that I had. Although it did solve a whole lot of physiological issues. It'll come as no surprise then, dear viewer, as I have already alluded, that the true issue was in my heart. Sounds like the beginning of a Disney movie when I say it that way. Don't worry, I'm not gonna start talking about therapy. You already know how much good it's done for me, and this video is not sponsored by BetterHelp. I did hit a plateau, however. I think about a year and a half ago, I was just getting bored. Like I said, I kind of had done the machines in my gym. My gym also kind of sucks. I have a lot of footage from the last week of my workouts that I wanted to share with you because I wanted to share a little bit about my trainer, BJ. Right around the Olympics, I think it might have been before, it was probably about like May. He reached out, he found me through my daily vlogs in 2024. And he was like, hey, I'd really like to give back. You made a comment about being stuck, feeling like you've plateaued, and I am a trainer, and I would love to talk about training you. I was a little bit skeptical because I'm always skeptical about these things. Emails from strangers are just a regular part of my life. Sometimes they lead to some cool things, sometimes to some weird things, but it turned out this time that it was gonna lead to some great things. And look, it's my sister. Also random French thing. I don't think LaCroix was a thing when I moved to France like 10 years ago. I don't know, at least I didn't grow up drinking it, that's for sure. Oh, here's the first time I saw it, I was like, ah, LaCroix. That's how you say it in French. Not how they say it here. Speaking of weird Frenchisms, we're doing some co-working here because, you know, we still have jobs. Can we have tacos for lunch?
I don't know if it's easy to find.
But let me tell you a little bit about BJ. Your glorious fingernails. Salsa. So when I started with BJ, he actually had a nutritionist that came on to work with my diet, like figure out if there's anything that we could change. She actually gave me the compliment. She's like, do you eat this way normally, or is this because you know I'm watching you? And I was like, I eat this way normally. And I was doing pretty well at that point. And then BJ started making custom plans for me to get into the gym and use what I had, get off the machines, use more sandbags, use my body weight. But it really revitalized the whole experience of going into the gym because I was so sick of this crappy gym that I have in Paris. I don't need to knock it too much, but everything was always broken. It just felt uncreative. Ugh, over it. It came back to life. Well, BJ brought it back to life.
But they're the same shape, right?
the biggest challenge in my journey when it's come to how I look, how I feel, to what I weigh, and how fit I am, has always been the self-recriminations, the voices in my head. And the number one thing that was helpful, beyond showing up for myself and being consistent, was finding somebody like BJ who was so supportive, who was so consistent and so non-judgmental. Like he's in it for the long haul. This is not a short run. We're not doing anything here just to get quick results. We're in it for the slow, steady self-transformation that will last through the ages. It took a while, but it really started to settle in. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, you know what you're doing from here?
Yeah, what?
Yep. It's about every 6 weeks that he re-ups my exercise routine. And I told him on this last re-up that something really good had happened in the last month or two. And that's when I ended up skipping a few workouts. I had some travel going on. Obviously, it's been a really crazy 6 months for so many reasons. And it can be very hard to work out when you're on the road. But I told him that normally in the past that would have left me feeling like a fatty. Like I would have just felt out of shape and gross and weird. But getting back into it, I realized I don't feel fat anymore. I feel fit. Which makes for a really important change of baseline because, like I said, the internal battle is the hardest one. Sticking with it over time, seeing results is part of it, but also I think so much of it is actually just embracing myself for who I am and where I'm at and being grateful for the work that I've been able to put in over the years to get to a place where I am the healthiest, the fittest that I've ever been in my life. And having somebody who's walking alongside with you, encouraging you, never recriminating, never making you feel bad, always meeting you in the moment, being like, yeah, man, have a drink, have a good time. Like we're in this for the long haul. We want to enjoy our lives. We don't want to just be miserable. And the exchange, I didn't even mention that he a couple of things. One, he's training me for free. Like when he reached out and asked if he could train me, he jumped in and became a member of my team at no cost. He's been working with me for over a year now, which has been amazing. The other is that he's gone out of his way to hang out with me. Like he's become a friend. It's been really, really fun. He was in Paris last year for my citizenship ceremony. He came out for dinner with us that night, which was super cool. And then when I was back in the States road tripping for my 40th, and we ended up in the middle of Washington to go whitewater rafting, that was because he was gonna be there with his sister and he was gonna meet us in Seattle anyways. And then I was like, oh, this would be super cool to cross over in the middle of the state. And we made it happen and we had a great time. And Paul didn't drown, even if his iPhone did. So that was a good combination. And I think that sounding board and that person who's walking alongside you, who's encouraging you, who's never making you feel bad, who's never tearing you down, but only ever building you up, even though all the training is done online and I've only gotten to hang out with him in person a few times now, has been invaluable. And because of that, he doesn't know I'm making this video. I didn't tell him I was gonna do this, but I wanted to share that story and where I'm at in my journey with him in particular, because I'm so grateful that he's been along for this part of the ride. I'm so happy that BJ found me and that he's been a part of my life for the last year and a half. Again, he doesn't know that I'm making this, but if you happen to be somebody who's plateauing a little bit, you're feeling a little bit stuck, maybe a little bit run down, you just need some coaching, some encouragement, guidance, getting out of whatever rut you might be in the gym, or even just getting into the gym, BJ sounds like it could be a good fit for you. He's based out of Kansas City, but he does everything over an app. I get my workouts, like I said, every 6 weeks. They're always really fun and creative. They push me in some new way every time. And I always just feel so good afterwards. I'm gonna link below. And I would love it if you reached out to him. I would love it if this video reached the right people, like 5 people ended up working with BJ after this, because I've just enjoyed it so much. And he's never asked for anything. He's only ever been a support for me. And I would like to return that favor. So that's a little bit of my story, my journey as it is working out on the road right now. I'm hanging out with family, obviously still working while I'm here. Kind of an unexpected trip, already really, really fun. And I had some great tacos earlier, which is good. Thanks to today's patron producer, Trudy Farrar, and all my patrons for making this possible. I will check in with you again from sunny Southern California. I have no idea exactly what all we're gonna be doing, but I do know that there's gonna be a costume party here soon, and we gotta get ready for that. So if you're a fan of the Muppet Christmas Carol, you could probably leave me ideas below.